Hello students. The topic of discussion today is inequalities, and in this video we will be covering how to solve linear inequalities. So before solving those, we need to understand what inequalities are. So inequalities are type of equations that do not contain an equal to sign. If we have an equation of this type, 2x plus 5 is equals to, let's say, 7, we call this an equation because it contains an equal to sign, right? Because of this equal to sign, this is called an equation. But when we do not have an equal to sign, when the two sides, both the sides that we have at hand are not equal, when one side is strictly bigger than the other one or simply might have the potential to be bigger than the other one, then those types of equations are called inequalities. Inequalities can be of this type. When 2x plus 5, let's say, is greater than 7, is more than 7, or in place of this greater than, we might have a less than sign, or a less than equals to sign, or a greater than equals to sign. All of these four signs indicate that both these sides are not equal. So this is not an equation. Because of these signs, we will call it to be an inequality. And because of the equal to sign in here, this is an equation. Equations have very specific solutions. When we solve this equation, we get a solution like this, that 2x is equals to 7 minus 5, which gives us 2x is equals to 2. So x should be equals to 1. So what we have here is a specific solution. When we have a linear equation, then we get one solution. When we have quadratic equations are equations where we have a square over here, then we are supposed to get two solutions. So equations have specific solutions, specific number of solutions. But when we take a look at inequalities, inequalities don't have specific solutions. What inequalities have is that they have a range or set of solutions. For inequalities, when we solve inequalities, we don't get a specific solution. We get a range of solution. We get a range for x or a set of values for x. So what we will be learning today is how to solve linear inequalities. Linear inequalities mean that solving them, what inequalities we will be solving are linear. It means that the power of the variable that we will have is 1. The maximum power of the variable is 1. So for solving linear inequalities, we solve them by making subject, the variable has to be the subjects, just like how we solve equations. We make the variable the subject, and then we have to remember one thing, which is that when we divide or multiply by a negative number while we are changing sides, then the inequality is reversed. When we multiply or divide by a negative number while changing sides, then our inequality is reversed. That is what we need to keep in mind. So if we take a look at a few examples, if we see a few examples, this is the first example that we have at hand, which is 16x minus 3 greater than equals to 3 minus 2x. So how do we solve? We know that we have to bring the variables to one side. So what do? We write 16x plus 2x is greater than equals to 3 plus 3. So we get 16 plus 2, which gives us 18x is greater than equals to 3 plus 3 is 6. So x is greater than equals to, because we are dividing by 18, That is the obvious rule when we are solving for linear inequalities, that we will solve it like equations. So when we are dividing by 18, 18 is not a negative number, it's a positive number. So our sign will not get reversed. So 6 divided by 18 simplifies to 1 by 3 as our answer. If we take a look at the next one, here we know that in order to solve these kinds of inequalities, we first have to multiply. So 3 into 5, it's the normal technique of expansion. 3 into 5 gives us 15x plus 3 into 15 would give us 45, which is less than 6x. Now this 6x will go to the other side. 15 minus 6x is less than this 45 comes to the other side and becomes minus 45. Now 15 minus 6 would give us 9. So 9x is less than minus 45. Now when we are dividing by 9, the next step is dividing by 9. So when we divide by 9, we see that we are not dividing with a negative number. So because we are not dividing with a negative number, our sign will not change. So we will write x is less than minus 45 divided by 9, which gives us minus 5. In the next example, we have this kind of inequality given to us, where we can see that we have to first multiply 4 with this bracket and then 6 with this bracket on the right hand side. So 4 into 4 is going to give us 16x minus 4 into 3 is 12 is less than equals to 6 into 7, which is 42x, then minus 6 into 3 is 18. Now 42x goes to the other side, 12 comes to this side on the right hand side. So we will get 16x minus 42x is less than equals to minus 18 plus 12. So 16 minus 42 is going to give us negative 26. So negative 26x is less than equals to minus 18 plus 12, giving us negative 6. Now when we see that we have a negative number in here, we have negative 26. So when we are going to divide with this negative number, our sign will change. So x will now be more than negative 6 divided by negative 26. So it is going to give us x is more than equals to 3 by 13. Now comes the last one, where we have to multiply minus 7 with this bracket and minus 6 with this second bracket. But the question is, will the sign change? The answer to this question is no, the sign will not change. The reason for this is, when we are multiplying by minus 7, we are not changing the side. So because the side is not changing, the sign will also not change. So minus 7 into minus 3 is minus 21x. Then minus 7 into 3 gives us minus 21, greater than 6 into 4 is minus 24. And then minus 6 into minus 6 gives us positive 6x. So we have negative 21x, negative 6x greater than negative 24 plus 21. So on the left hand side, we will get 27x, which is a negative 1, is greater than negative 3. Now when we are dividing, we are changing sides again. So because we are changing sides, our sign will also change. The greater than sign becomes the less than sign, and we have negative 3 divided by negative 27. So negative 3 divided by negative 27 is going to give us a positive 1 by 9. So our answer is x is less than 1 by 9. if we interpret our answers, then this means that x can be any value which is less than 1 by 9. In this case, in the case of the previous one, x can be any value which is greater than 3 by 13, or it can also be 3 by 13. There are two possible answers to this one. Either our value of x is 3 by 13, or our value of x is greater than 3 by 13. So greater than 3 by 13 would mean that our value of x is any value which is greater than 0.23, because the value of 3 by 13 is 0.23. So any value greater than 0.23 is our answer. So our values of x can be 0.25 or 1 or 5 or 50, any value that is more than this number, or it can also be this 0.23 or 3 by 13. So this was all about linear inequalities, where we solved the inequalities by assuming that they are equations, just like how we make the variable the subject in an equation. In order to solve those equations, we did the same thing in here. The only thing that we need to keep in mind is that when we are multiplying or dividing with a negative number, while we are changing sides, in those cases only, our signs will also change. It will get reversed. In the next one, we will see how to solve quadratic inequalities.